Next is gross domestic capital formations. Gross domestic capital formation. What do you mean by gross domestic capital formations? It includes the expenditure on the purchase of final goods and services by the producers. This is totally that expenditure are done by the producers because they will invest their capital, they will produce the different output. So that kinds of expenditure is to be called that gross domestic capital formation or gross domestic investment. Gross domestic investment. So this gross domestic investment is divided into two parts. One is that gross domestic fixed capital formation, another is that change in stock. Gross domestic fixed capital formation, another is that change in stock. Gross domestic fixed capital formation. I use this GDFC, gross domestic fixed capital formation. Another is that change in stock. Gross domestic fixed capital formations or gross domestic investment. This is called that gross domestic investments. Gross domestic fixed investment. Gross domestic fixed investment. Fixed capital formation or fixed investment. It refers to the expenditure. It refers to the expenditure, but it means gross domestic fixed capital formation. As a commerce student, you know very well there is that fixed capital. Fixed capital in the sense means like land, building, machinery, etc. So these are the purchasing of that fixed assets. Purchasing of fixed assets. This is called the gross domestic fixed capital formations. So this fixed investment we may also divide into three parts. Gross domestic fixed capital formation. This is three parts. One is fixed मतलब क्या गया? Fixed assets. First one is the business fixed investments. Business fixed investment. Business fixed investments. And second one, government fixed investment. Government fixed investment. And third one, investment on construction by residential household buildings. Business fixed investment, government fixed investment, and residential construction by households. investment on construction by residential households. It means it measures the expenditure on construction, the volume of materials, inputs, volume of material inputs. Whenever we construct a house, that inputs what we are using, these are to be called that investment on construction by residential households. What are the inputs we are using? Like bricks, cement, steel, etc. Labor also we are using. So these are that investment on residential construction by hold. How this expenditure is to be calculated? Bricks rate, market price, cement market price, steel market price, labor, how much labor we are using in the process of that constructing building. So that kinds of expenditure are to be called that investment on construction of household buildings. So gross domestic fixed capital formation equal to business fixed investment, government fixed investment, residential and construction by residential household. This is called that gross domestic fixed capital formation. So next part, change in stock. Change in stock. Change in stock is divided into one is that closing stock, another is that opening stock. The difference. Suppose this year which was closed, and last year this will be, next year this will be open. So opening stock for 2019-20 maybe 20 crores, and this is the opening stock, and closing it may be that 30 crores. So 30 crores minus 20 crores equal to 10 crores. This is called that change in stock. Remember it, in economics some extent is different. Economics closing stock minus opening stock, but those commerce students, there in commerce I think opening stock minus closing stock. So please remember it, in our economics closing stock minus opening stock. Don't be confused. Next one, first I was told expenditure method, components of GDP market price. First one is that final consumption expenditure. Second one is that gross domestic capital formation, and third one net export. Third one is the net export. Third component. तो पहले फर्स्ट क्या बोले थे? फाइनल कंजप्शन एक्सपेंडिचर. Second the gross domestic capital formation, and third that is the net export. So net export, that is export minus import. Sometimes the question may give you the net import. Net import means that import is more than export, then it is to be the net import. So that is to be added or deducted, that depends on your questions. So now expenditure method formula GDP at market price equal to what we can write. These are three components: final consumption expenditure plus gross domestic capital formation plus net export. Final consumption expenditure, gross domestic capital formation or gross domestic investment plus net export. This is the first formula. And have the gross domestic product market estimate. Or we may write here final consumption expenditure we have divided two parts, that is that private final consumption expenditure plus government final consumption expenditure. Gross domestic capital formation, it is divided into plus. This is the two parts. One is that gross domestic fixed capital formation plus change in stock plus net export. This is also second formula. Next formula, expenditure मतलब gross domestic product market price equal to, you may write here private final consumption expenditure and government final consumption expenditure same. Private final consumption expenditure plus government final consumption expenditure. Next, gross domestic fixed capital formation. Gross domestic fixed capital formation, that is three parts. One is government business fixed investment. First, business fixed investments, fixed capital formation or fixed investment, government, business fixed investment or fixed capital formations, net plus government fixed investment or fixed capital formation plus third one, that is that investment on residential construction by house. Business fixed investment, government fixed investment and residential construction by households plus इसका these are three parts plus change in stock, that is closing stock minus opening stock plus net export, that is X minus M or export minus import. This is the formula of gross domestic product market price by expenditure method. Next, from that we have to find out the national income. That is NNPF factor cost. Similarly, this is the GDP market price. So GDP market price minus depreciation equal to NDP at market price, and NDP at market price minus net indirect taxes equal to NDP at factor cost, and NDP at factor cost plus net factor income from abroad equal to NNP at factor cost, which is to be called as national income. If directly we will find out the formula, NNP at factor cost equal to, we may write here, private final consumption expenditures plus government final consumption expenditures, like this, plus business fixed investment plus government fixed investment plus investment of residential construction household plus change in stock plus net export up to the net export. Minus depreciation minus net indirect taxes plus NFIA equal to NNP at factor cost for national income. This is the formula above all. We conclude here that national income or NNP at factor cost.